All right, what's good, everyone out there in the land of Blokpax? This is a big one. There's a lot that I'm going to unpack here. I'm going to try to be as direct and brief as I can. We're going to follow this up with a fully written out post. I think we're going to put it in a Git book because it is a lot to cover, and then we're going to be available for some Q&As and that sort of thing. I'm sure there are going to be questions. Don't freak out if you have them. It's going to take a little while for some of this to really get fully understood because it is a lot, but it's a lot, I think, in a really good way. There's some really exciting stuff in the world of Blokpax. I've had a firm belief ever since we started this journey 3 years ago that we were going to be successful building in this space. It's a huge passion for me. I hope that you see that come through every single day. The team is so dedicated to trying to make this a success. And even when we fail, we're failing trying to do really cool and bold things. So what I want to do today is just kind of take you through where we're headed as it relates to Blokpax proper. And so when I say that, I'm referring to like the marketplace, I'm referring to HTH, I'm referring to the Miles program, all of that sort of thing. We won't be talking specifically. One thing we won't be talking about really today is Wonders. Wonders, a lot of stuff going on there. You've probably all seen a lot of that buzz here lately. That's not really covered too much here. You'll hear the word a few times, but not much. This is really about kind of core Blokpax operations and home team heroes. So just pull that mic down just a bit there, and let's jump into it. So first thing to do is just have a quick year in review. So if we think back on the year, we had over 5 million awarded to the Blokpax community in the year 2023. And so when you think about what that is, we had our token go out, we had our claim for our wonders. And when I look at that from the token side, I'm looking at kind of where you guys are putting that token here today. And if we really go back to when some of the things were awarded with the token, it would have been a lot more. So that's actually a pretty conservative measure of the amount of outbound value that we had in the year. So that was good, but this isn't the time to necessarily look back. Let's look forward. So one of the first things that I want to jump into is Blokpax Miles. So everyone knows that we've referred to and have positioned our program very similarly to a reward mile program that you may see from an airline. And it has a crypto component to it to allow for peer-to-peer so that you can top off and do things that you might need to do. One of the things that's been a struggle for us is in the marketplace, having the miles to be denoted in a US dollar format so that we could allow normies to come in, be able to get some of the credits that they need to be able to participate in our economy and not necessarily peg it to anything on the peer-to-peer side, which really doesn't involve us. Like that kind of has to sort itself out. And there's a lot of stuff from a regulatory standpoint that's important to make sure that we don't trip up, frankly. And we need to make sure that it stays positioned exactly what it is and exactly the way we've positioned it. And to that end, that's why we had the US dollar denomination. But starting very soon, I hope this is something that's actually going to come along next week. We are going to change the way we talk about everything inside the Blokpax marketplace. And specifically as it relates to miles, Blokpax miles, they are the in-app currency for Blokpax. 1 mile equals 1 BPX. It's simple. It's easier for everyone to understand. So we're going to go away with this idea of credits, and we're going to do away with dollar denoted credits. When someone comes in and they want to participate with us and they don't already have miles, they would then purchase them on a credit card like you would any other in-app currency in any other game or marketplace that you might participate in. For those of you that are putting in your BPX, it comes in 1 BPX equals 1 mile. It operates as a mile the entire time it's in your Blokpax marketplace wallet. And then if you want to take it back out, you obviously can. And so if we think about the types of miles and the way this all works, withdrawable, things that you can take back out to self-custody. Obviously, what you put in, you can take back out to self-custody. Anything you earn as a reward. Typically, these are going out mostly in drips, sometimes not. Rewards, they're instantly withdrawable to self-custody. If you win them as a prize, whether dripped or not, you can take them out to self-custody. If you're received for any items you sell in the marketplace, those you can take out to self-custody. And then, of course, anything you've previously deposited via self-custody, you could take back out. Again, 1 mile equals 1 BPX. And I think when you see the implementation of this, you will see that it's really so much better than what we have now. And it will create so much better of an experience for normies that we want to bring into our world. And it will allow us then to just set what we want the miles price to be on any given day. It will allow that seamlessness of that market to participate and happen a lot better. So this is going to be a nice change for us, I believe. Things that are not withdrawable, miles that you put on a credit card, can't take them out. And then there'll be some special promotion, something like maybe your auction credits you see today. There'll be various promotional type things that you would not be able to take out to sell custody. So again, I don't think this is a huge change. We referred to them as miles the whole time. It'll just change a little bit in the UI UX. It's going to clean things up. It's going to make things a lot better. You won't see the wonky price conversion that we have where something's a credit versus someone didn't buy it with a credit. All that's going to go away. 1 mile is 1 mile in the world of Blokpax. Blokpax runs on these miles. So next up is Home Team Heroes. We're going to have some really interesting changes here to Home Team Heroes. The first of which is the drop cadence. So in the past, we have done 1 drop for baseball, 1 drop for football, 1 drop for basketball. You have these long times in between, and you have these times where you get your drops, and it's like, all right, when is the next drop? So we get this energy around the drops, which is palpable. Everyone loves it. It's just been great. And then when the drops aren't live, it's the color pops and other things. I won't say it's a total ghost town as far as enjoyment goes, but it's definitely not to the level we get right around the drops themselves. So we are going to move to a monthly drop cadence for Home Team Heroes. The set for each sport will be broken into 3. So there will be different heroes released in drop 1, drop 2, and drop 3. And so for baseball, April drop, May drop, June drop. So you would purchase packs in each of those. They'll have slightly different pack art. The color pops for the heroes that are featured in any particular drop, those will match to the drop. So if you know that you want Matata this year, you think he's going to go off again in baseball, if he's, I actually don't know what drop he's in. If he's, just say hypothetically in drop 3, you will need a color pop from drop 3 to be able to have a chance to hit Matata. If we have, say, Ellie De La Cruz's hero, if he's in drop 1, then you would need to get a color pop from drop 1 to be able to hit that particular hero. So that's the way the cadence is going to work. It's the number of heroes for baseball this year is going to go up to about 45. It's going to be roughly 45 to 50. There's still a little bit up in the air on a couple of guys that are fringy. We're kind of watching the market and seeing where a few things land here through spring training, a few of these last free agents, but 45 to 50. So we're going to have better coverage this year. And then you can expect football to be around 45 to 50. And I think a basketball 45 to 50. That's going to kind of be about where things are going to settle for the year across each of the collections in that ballpark. And again, each of them split into 3 drops. You'll know which heroes are in each particular drop, and you can then choose how you want to participate in those. If you're a big set builder, you're going to want some packs in all 3. And again, I think it'll add a lot of just freshness and excitement to what we're doing. So that's a big piece of what we're doing there. Introducing this year, you've seen Rookie Inspired. We had the Rookie Inspired on the Hero Victory in basketball. We debuted that. Originally, when we built Home Team Heroes, I was kind of thinking that really we wouldn't have rookies that much because the idea of getting established and really earning that stripe to be a hero. But when you think about it and the way the market really reacted to it, you guys love your rookies and you want them. You want them to match up with the year they come out. We hear you loud and clear. So Rookie Inspired is going to be a thing. We're going to take swings at rookies and we're going to miss on a few, just like we all do if we speculate on rookies. But that's part of the fun in sports. So we will have Rookie Inspired heroes. You can expect to see those coming to each of the sets this year, starting with baseball. Look for the Rookie Inspired symbol. And we also will have Hero Debut. So, for example, Matt Olson, guy that hits a lot of home runs, a Braves player, really good player. Certainly could have deserved a hero last year, didn't get one. Has a hero in this year. He's not a rookie. His hero will feature Hero Debut. So when they're new in this set, they're going to get one of these 2 seals. This will go on all of their cards in the set. The first edition stamp will stay on the origin, that first way they were ever invented. So you'll have your Rookie Inspired origin, and then that'll be the first edition, Hero Debut origin, and that'll be the first edition there. And then the ice version, the fire version, they'll still carry this Rookie Inspired and Hero Debut label, but they will not get the first edition label. So it's keeping some consistency there. All right, so snap. What was the old Raz good at? It was good at building our community. If you don't know what the Raz is, it's a game where we would issue 2,048 tokens for a real physical card. Then every day, half of them would snap away. The community came to call that the Thanos snap. And in that process, You would basically then move towards the end, and the last person standing would win the card. You could sell your NFTs anywhere along the way. It was a really novel use of sweepstakes in Web3, and it was really cool in that regard. It galvanized our community. It allowed everyone to get together and trust each other on trades, and we had some really big deals that got made across that game and made friendships. It was amazing from that standpoint. The foundation of our entire community was laid in the thrills and spills of that game. But what it did terribly bad was onboard new people, because when new people came in, they encountered technology that was really just like swimming through glass. It was on Polygon chain. That made it even more difficult than main chain. And then they come in, they're in these waters with all these sharks that know what they're doing, and they didn't really know. So they would end up getting paralysis, and they would just sit there and stare at their tokens, and they would snap away. They wouldn't make any moves. They wouldn't sell them. So they would end up just pretty much for the most part getting just cooked, and they would lose. And then they were like, man, that really didn't feel good. It sounded interesting when I came in, but that wasn't fun. Interesting and fun are not the same. And it just wasn't really fun for them. And so what that would then do is it would really just cause a lot of these people not to stick. They would do it once and they would leave, and they have a bad taste in their mouth. And to the extent that we have any people that talk kind of bad about us today, it's pretty much those people that say, yeah, I came in and did your crap and it sucked, and I bought some stuff and it went to nothing. And that's really what it was bad at. So here's how we're going to make it better. So let's jump into how it's going to work now. So here's how it's going to work now. The new and improved, it's no longer the RAS, it is the Snap game. And the way the Snap game is going to work, it's going to be tied into the HTH drops. Every hero variation that you get in a particular drop in its common form, it's common card only, will be tied to a specific sports card that you can win. All right. So here you see the common ice variation for Action. Action, inspired by Action Jackson Holiday. This doesn't have the rookie inspired label on it yet, but this is a new hero that we have coming this year, and he is rookie inspired. His ice variation, and we'll actually go ahead and make sure it stays this way since we put it in this presentation, he is tied to that 86 Fleer Jordan sticker. So if you want to try to win that 86 Fleer Jordan sticker, what you need to do is you need to stack Action Ice commons, right? And when you do, every Action Ice common that you have is a chance to win that particular card, all right? Now, the way the snapping is going to work, you're not going to lose your commons. Instead, we're going to fix something that was broken in the old RAS game. Instead of taking away, if you advance to the next round, we're going to add 2. So what will happen is that on a set date, we will have the snap, and 256 purple shatters will go into the wallets, the accounts. This is all through our marketplace. Will go into the account of people that are holding those Action Ice commons. All right. So all done on chain, you'll still be able to verify the fairness all the same way. It will use you'll know a hash of your account or something for privacy. We'll have to be a little careful with that, but there will be on-chain proving that the random was done properly, and you will get a purple. Then a week later, same thing will happen. From those 264 purples, a snap will happen, and 64 people will get a lime. Feel me? We went 2 rounds. For those of you that are OGs and remember the old RAS, you would snap half. Now we're going to snap 20 down up to 25%. So you're going to go from 256 get a purple, 64 get a lime. Then the next snap, we move to 16 getting an orange. From there, we snap 4 to a pink. And from there, we snap to the final 1. Whoever ends up with the white shatter wins the card. They also, the physical card, the Jordan 86 Fleer sticker that I showed you, they also now have the white rainbow because they won all the way through. But if you fell off at any point in that process, you now have more cards than you started with. So this is the way that shatters will be distributed in the new HTH model. And I'm really excited about it. As far as the way the timing for this will work, the timing is actually going to be on a monthly basis for the Snap game, and it will be on a 1-month lag from the drop itself. So stay with me. The April baseball drop, the actual Snap game related to those commons will take place over the month of May, and it will run over that entire month for the most part. So what's going to happen is you're going to get your drop 1. You're going to stack all the commons for that you want. You're going to do all your normal collecting, building your rainbows, whatever. If you want to build common sets, do all that. And then in May, we will move to Baseball Drop 2. And while that's happening, the snap game for Baseball Drop 1 will take place. Those purples will go out early in the month of May. Then the limes a week later, then the oranges, then the pinks, then ultimately the whites. And we're going to basically make that take the whole month. It'll be roughly once a week, except for the last round. We'll probably only have a couple of days between pink and white. And then when we move into June, we will be doing the June baseball drop. It'll be the third and final drop, which will allow you to fill out the full set. And then we will also run the snap game for the second drop. So think about what this is going to do pace-wise, right? Our folks don't like it when there's nothing to do. And they also don't like it when they feel there's so much and so fast that they can't keep up. Well, now things will be on a calendar. You will know at any given time, where are we? We're in drop 2, we're in drop 3, we're in the snap game 1, we're in snap game 2. All of it you'll know. We're giving you plenty of time to get ready for the snap game to start. If you're busy at the first of the month, you took a vacation, fine. Come in a couple weeks later, rip your packs, get your commons, get ready. And then when the snap game comes along, if you're a person that's always loves it and you're in trading and dealing every single day, you can do that. And then maybe you get some stuff in snap game 1 that advances to the round of 64 and you're sitting on a lime, or it goes further, you're sitting on an orange, and the card you really want is coming up in the next drop. Okay, we'll trade that for a bunch of commons in the next drop to give yourself a better head start for that. Lots of options, right? And then tons of options around collecting your home team heroes. I really think, just based on all the data we have around our community and what you all like and what you all dislike, I think this is going to be a nice big win for you. And also the value in the process will be really interesting. It'll be really interesting to see, because you have the accretive value of the shatters themselves, which are still in the points system, still in the points mechanism, still collectible, and those don't ever snap away. And you have the underlying cards. And so and they're not going to be very fungible. There'll be a lot of differences in them. And we have a lot of data now to know what type of cards work best in that mechanic, and what's too much and what's too little. It really almost isn't, there isn't too little, but there's too much. Like you can really mess that up. And we've learned a lot, and we'll put all that data into this to make it better. So that's how the snap game and HTH drop cadence will work. Another big thing, collision art is coming back. Our 100 Legend series, this is also one that is not necessarily a great kept secret. The 100 Legend series is something that was part of what really kicked us off. It's something that I hope over the years we'll revisit and have some really fun going back into some of that earliest stuff, and some interesting things that we may be able to do there to shine some light back on some of the really kind of fun and cool things we did early on. But bringing the 100 Legends back is something that we're going to do. For those of you who don't know what this is, essentially what we do is we give out a piece of art that is inspired by a legendary athlete or something legendary in history. It doesn't all have to be athletes. And when you get that piece of art, that art is a digital collectible, and it also gives you a piece of ownership in a physical item for a time. You don't buy it. There's no security. We're not selling it to you. You just, you get it with this pass that you already have. And the passes give you a bigger piece of that asset. One of the big things we're going to do is those assets are going to move through a lot quicker. In other words, we do the 100 Legend, and the asset will generally, once the window for claiming your 100 Legend is over, your art piece, the asset will actually then run through the auction within 90 days. So then the community will be able to see these items, know what they were, and then be able to come into the marketplace and bid on them with a lot more speed in how that'll move through. And then still have the art pieces to keep as a remembrance of that and a remembrance of that legend. So it gives us a great chance to celebrate some of these. I don't want to get out over my skis and say that I have a ton of world-class artists lined up for this right now. We don't. But it is something that has a lot of opportunity for fun expansions in the future, and we will look to do those things. It's a product that I really like. It's a promotion that I really like. It's something that the community, I think, really likes, and we're happy to bring it back. The way you had to do it before, it was always around our elite drops. So again, I apologize for those of you that weren't here for that, but now the way it's going to work, if you have one of these passes, it will activate by having at least 10 packs in all 3 of the drops for baseball, and then you'll get that legend. All 3 of the drops for football, and you'll be able to mint that legend. All 3 of the drops for basketball, and you'll be able to mint the legend that's with that. The legend won't necessarily correlate to the sport. We'll bounce around. Some of them won't even be sports still, but that's how it's going to work. It used to be you had to buy 30 In an elite drop, we don't really have that anymore. So I didn't want to up it on you all. So it's just 10 across 3 drops now instead of 30 in one. So that works the same. And that is on a per pass basis that you want to activate. If you're sitting on 10 packs or 10 passes, you'll need 100 packs in each you'll need 100 packs in each to activate them, 300 across all of them. So hopefully all that's pretty clear, and we can sort that out if not. So next up, physical HTH game is confirmed. This is not going to be your average, typical run-of-the-mill CCG. Very different from what you may be seeing in the world of wonders. This is going to be, I don't mean this to insult any of us. I'm a big sports collector. It's going to be hobby shop, sports collector type simple. I have a really interesting marketing strategy around how to position this product to go on the shelf in hobby shops, not game stores, and position it right alongside the best of the best from 800-pound gorilla fanatics and everything that they're doing on the sports card side with all of what they're doing. We're going to have things in this product, autographs, relics, all those sort of things. And those will still be legally playable cards in the game. And then the game itself is going to be incredibly approachable. One of the marketing lines we're toying with right now is, it's so simple, grandpa can play it. And the idea there is to challenge people that are in and for those of you that are close to me in age, our cohort of age. We walk in, I have a 12-year-old. I walk in with my 12-year-old and I see that thing and it says, so easy, grandpa could play it. You're immediately challenging me. Well, if my dad could do it, rest in peace, then I think I could do it. Right. And so things like that, we're going to position it with that level of simplicity, but yet have enough depth in the game if you want to turn on other modes to where you can get to a level where it is fairly competitive. But we're not trying to build a copy of Wonders here. We're not trying to make anything nearly that level of complexity. We want to put the heroes front and center. We want to make the heroes collectible. We want to do things with collectability there. And it needs a utility that doesn't cannibalize the digital set. The digital set's very important. We already have our base collectibles that are out for LaBoss. They came out in the basketball set this year. Okay. I don't want to cannibalize that. So the utility for this is different. Grading wise, working on some really interesting things there on the grading side. And again, gradable cards and parallels. Again, expect autographs and things like that. Things that you would expect from a sports card product, also with this layer worked in. We do expect this to be our tent pole for this year's national. For those of you that were there or saw the videos from last year's national, we had a massive activation there and we learned a lot. We onboarded some new people and we learned a lot. And we think that having something like this could be absolutely a way to proliferate the Home Team Heroes brand across a lot more households, and then use that to help bring them into the more gamified, dare I use the word degen aspect that we have with the color pops, where you can experience fantasy play, build sets, chase those big hits and that sort of thing. I think that the proliferation of the heroes through this will absolutely be something that can cast a lot of energy and light back onto what we've already released and continue to release on the digital side. But make no mistake about it, that 23 first set, that origin of LaBoss, that was his first card from just a pure collectible standpoint. And I believe that the game will be heavily symbiotic to that. This game is pretty far along in its mechanics development. We are anticipating having physical product available in starter boxes at the National. And then we're going to have a really special activation around that I don't want to get out over my skis on and tip the hand too much on that. So that's the HTH game. It is confirmed. All right. And now we have something else, and this is a big one. This is brand new. This is really exciting. A lot of you know Eric. I'm going to throw him some flowers here because he's the core of this idea. So when you get people that are in the community that are sharp, that come in, he brought this idea in, and then we all work together to shape it, and it's pretty daggum amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to have, on a weekly basis, we're going to have a pick 6 game with our heroes. And the way it works is you come in and you pick 6 heroes that you think are going to exceed their point projection for that week. We're going to start with baseball. We're going to use the weekend slate, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so every hero, based on their underlying favorite player, will have a projection. You will pick the ones that you think will exceed their projection. We're not going to bet unders. We all want our heroes to do well. So it's off brand for us to say, nope, I think this hero's favorite player is going to suck. We're only going to go overs. Okay. So one ways. And if you hit, you win 2,000 BPX, and anyone can come and play this game for free. It's free. It's a sweepstakes. Okay. So anyone can come and play for free. But those that are participating and are working on their HTH collection and moving up that leaderboard, you're going to get extra entries. And if you're sitting in the first position, you're going to get 1,000 entries into that game. And you can decide how you want to split them up. You could put all 1,000 on one ticket, one pick six, and put all 1,000 on it, YOLO. And if you hit, you get the 2,000 and you get it for 1,000 entries. You walk away with 2 million miles in that one ticket. You can split them up. You can say, I'm going to go 100 entries on 10 different tickets. That's probably what I would do. That way, each one matters, fun and engaging, but you're not quite YOLOing it on one, giving yourself a little bit chance to have a little bit more fun and stay in the game a little bit more. Totally free. You're not betting anything. This is not wagering. It's a sweepstakes. We can't take wagering. That would be illegal. That's not what this is. It's a game. And it's based off of a sweepstakes model. When you participate in the ecosystem, you are able to get yourself more entries, has free method of entry, all those things from a regulatory standpoint. A regulation standpoint, that's how it works. Now, there's one other big piece to the puzzle here. Your first pick every week, your first pick gets a bonus. That first pick bonus, you don't have to get anything right. You just get it for playing. And guess what it's based on? It's based on the amount of miles that you have in your account at that time. And it's based on a rate to start at 30% of your miles balance is your annualized bonus that you would get, your first pick bonus. So let's say you have 1 million miles sitting in your account. You come in, you put your first ticket in that week. You're going to see that your annualized first pick bonus is 300,000 BPX. If you show up every week and put at least one ticket in, and you don't touch your miles balance, at the end of the year, you're going to have 300,000 miles in your first pick bonus. All right. And you'll get it pro rata for that week, whatever the math is on that. 6-ish thousand, give or take. I hope that's not way off. I don't want to redo the recording. If it is, I'm just bad at math. But that's how it's going to work. Okay. And I think that's going to be something that I hope will excite everybody a lot. It allows us to keep our heroes and the performance of their favorite players much more top of mind week in and week out. We believe there's a great opportunity to bring this to the masses and have more people come and participate in this. It's built in a way that we can sustain and bring in that the people that want to come and participate with us. Now, you will stack both your first pick bonus and your winnings. They'll stack. And at the end of the season, and a season for us on this is April 1st to March 31st. It's almost like a fiscal year because that's the way the seasons work for us to have kind of the two pool payouts, one for baseball, football, one for basketball. And then if we add some ancillary sports, maybe they can start going out with basketball and we kind of get those two kind of reward pool times of year. So think of it as it runs on our fiscal year, the Blokpax fiscal year, which is April 1st to March 31st. You're just stacking. And at the end, it comes in as a drip. That's a mechanic that's inherent to what we're doing, but you have nothing that you have to risk. You're coming in and playing for free. You're collecting your HTH. You're moving up that leaderboard. I expect competitions to get born off of this. I mean, you guys could make up leagues where you say, hey, we're going to take our first pick ticket and whatever everybody gets on their first pick ticket only. We're going to do win-loss records for the month, and we're going to do some things on our own. Tons of opportunity for you all to have fun and engage around this. And it's a product that I'm really super excited about. So again, props to Eric for bringing that one in. Not that the team brings great ideas all the time, but this one in particular, I'm super bullish on, and it was born out of his idea. And I want to give him some flowers here in front of everybody for that one. All right, so that covers HTH, that covers the snap game getting tied into HTH, and that covers the pick six game, which I'm still working on some branding for that. So if anybody's got some great ideas on branding for this, feel free to toss them in Discord and help me out, because I want it to be obvious what it is. And at the same time, I'd love to brand it a little more proprietary. So if you've got some great ideas, feel free to toss them my way. But right now, Pick Six is the name of it that we have as a working name. All right, next up, let's talk about Bantam Brigade a little bit. I know that energy tends to ebb and flow around different products, and I get it. The Bantams, if you're sitting out in the community, you're like, oh, they feel forgotten. I mean, it hadn't been that long ago where we were talking about the Bantams, but I will agree that other things began to move, and we had to put resources in the right spots. The Wonders lift was incredibly large. The team there did have a lot of overlap, and we just didn't have time to put it, and we had to shift it into Wonders. And I hope that everyone now, because we do have most people are overlapped. There may be one or two of you out there that are way heavier on that side, barefoot side, bantam side, and you may be a little bit like, man, you've forgotten about me. Luckily, in our ecosystem, we do have a lot of crossover, so everyone at least feels the winds, even when they ebb and flow around. But I just want to say this from my chest very clearly: we have 3 major franchises that we're looking to build around. Bantams is absolutely one of them, and I think Bantams is going to be really, really big and important for us. And I want to kind of tell you at least a few things here so that you can prepare yourself for what's to come, okay? Because there is something really big that I want to explain. You may have seen me post in Discord about the use with Newt Yuga and how they are just changing up how they're doing other side. They've moved to this fully permissioned system for all their NFTs. I don't know what we would even be able to do with the resources on those NFTs now with if it ever gets here. I'm just, and their IP, it is much more tied into, I'm not making any type of moral or argument here, but they're tied into culturally some things that aren't necessarily kid friendly. I think most people would agree that, weed, cannabis, whatever, or putting it on liquor bottles, it's not necessarily the most kid friendly. And even ourselves, we said we were going to put, we've kind of positioned the barefoot side a little bit more party and we, the rum stuff and that sort of thing. So we want the Bantams to be kid friendly. We want the Bantams to be kind of our Pokemon. And whereas you got Wonders that sits up there as your kind of your more Magic the Gathering, really deep and rich game and super, super skill expression based. Then you have Pokemon that's a little bit more friendly and approachable to characters, and the game's a little bit easier. And then again, I collect HTH is in a totally different world, not really in that same vein. But here's what we're going to do and how we're going to revamp this project. And again, this I think is the final one. Okay. I think this is the final thing we're going to do here, because I think when we get this one, we can see enough now with market fit. We're going to take the best of the Wonders and the best of some other things that we've learned, and we're going to bring it over to Bantam. So what does that mean? That means that we're going to release Bantams that you own the same way you own Wonders. You will own Bantams that you own the IP rights to. Same way you own your Wonders characters, you will own Bantam characters. And the way you will get them is that for every parrot you hold in the barefoot ecosystem, you will get 1 Bantam. For every pirate you hold, you will get a legendary Bantam. If you have a Skelly pirate, you will get a trainer, which in Pokemon, those are the humans that run around and throw the Pokeballs and stuff. We're not going to call them trainers. It's a working name. But if you have one of the Skelly pirates, there's 10 of those, you'll have one of those trainers. And if you have one of those that we positioned at the very top, those 101, those gemstone trainers or gemstone pirates, you will get a legendary trainer. And so that would kind of be where the Ash Ketchum of Pokemon would be up in that. From a story standpoint, those will be the ones that'll be front and center in the stuff that we do as far as the humanoid aspect of it or whatever. And then you have the Bantams or all the characters down underneath. Now, I'll say this. Pikachu is a basic Pokemon, right? So in our world, Pikachu would come from a parrot, and Ash Ketchum would come from the main character that throws the, I don't even know all the Pokemon. I guess he has a lot of Pokemon, but that would come from the legendary trainer. So clearly legendary is cool. Nightstorm would be like a legendary Bantam. But there's a lot of really cool things that will happen in the Bantam. So yeah, there's a premium to legendary. I won't say there's not. It's by design. We want to reward the pirate holders with some really, really cool ones. And we want to reward the parrots and everybody in there. You'll still keep all those NFTs. We're not going to do anything with them. They're permissionless. You have them. We're not going to change them. We're not going to swap the art out. They're just going to live on as ephemera of the artistic process. And so they're part of the story. They're forever etched in our lore. Wherever we go, whatever we do, they're there. And they're forever an IP play off of the ape at Yuga. And then the parrots kind of came because it fit into they were really born because we kind of migrated from that old original Tiki idea. Clearly, this is one that's been a struggle for us, okay? And it's very different than where we started. The idea, I still say, was sound, but execution combined with market fit, it sucked. And we've had to go a lot of different ways to try to find it. And we've been trying, and we've been iterating, but it's been tough. But this one, now I've got full confidence in it. I've seen the Wonders land. I see how much you all love them. I see the energy around the game. I know that the team can deliver a good game for it. I know that the idea of I am so red pilled on the distributed IP concept of the Wonders that I just can't control myself. And the example I always use is, imagine if somebody won and owned Pikachu, and you could do something with Pikachu, and you could open Pikachu nuggets restaurant chain. I mean, if that had happened with Pokemon, you would have private investment groups that would own characters, and they would do things like that. They would build different things off of all of those characters alongside the Pokemon company. And yeah, the Pokemon company might be worth a little less because a lot of the IP value goes out into that distribution. Or maybe it's worth a lot more because the brand is that much bigger and stronger. I don't know. But this is how we're doing it. And since I always use Pikachu as the example, I think the Bantams are the perfect fit. And I look forward to getting to that. That's going to be a later this year thing. Probably Q3-ish is what I'm thinking. But it's going to take a minute. So if you want to position yourself for it, these are the assets that you would position yourself with, and we'll see you when we get there on that one. It's going to take a little bit of while. I don't have the resources right now that need to be applied to it, but we will get there. And the Bantams are one that I think can absolutely be a monster franchise. I truly believe that. I believe they can be an absolute monster. It's just a matter of getting the right time. Now, there are a few other assets sitting out there that we also have to be mindful of. The existing Bantam Edition digital cards. First of all, if we're successful in everything else, thesis on those is really, really rock solid, because they're the birth of the whole daggum thing. Literally the birth of the Bantams. They're in those first edition cards. I've got some ideas around other things that I want to do to specifically reward around that particular collection. I don't have it all fully shaped today. The Pandemonium passes, essentially what you're going to benefit there from is we're going to liquidate all that other stuff that we have. That's the, I'll take it back. Go back to the Bantam cards. The Bantam cards will receive the liquidation of those other deeds that we were going to use for the resources. That's going to go exclusively to the Bantams, and I'm going to try to take care of that here soon. Like, get them liquidated. I need to find, we got to figure out like how to get rid of them the best, like, because we were sitting on a chunk of them, and some of them have some really nice resources on them. Really nice as far as like, I don't know. Again, I don't know what they're doing. I'm frustrated there. I wish them the best. I hope they're successful. But if I said I wasn't frustrated, I'd be lying. I'm very frustrated. But I'm very happy that we're moving this into our world now. And when we liquidate those, I hope the people that end up with them do amazingly well with them. And then we will then have that will go exclusively to the Bantam card holders, because that's where those resources were ultimately intended to go when we set all that up. Then you have the Pandemonium passes. The remaining assets, which would be the ape that all of the pirates are based on, they'll get that. And I think there may be a few other assets hanging out in there. They'll get that. And then that one, I mean, there's really not anything else to do as far as there's nothing else to govern, because that's just what it is. And if you guys don't want to sell that thing and want to hold it, you can vote to hold it and keep it, and that's fine. We'll honor whatever it is you guys want to do with that thing. The passes, I don't have a great answer for that one. There's about 500 of those sitting out there. I don't want to leave them out just totally out to dry. I've never have. And I need to think about it. I'm open to ideas. I don't want that to take over right now because it's too far out, but like in a few months. So if you have ideas, maybe sketch them down and let's talk about them a little bit further down the road. We got so much other stuff right in front of us right now that I don't want to get bogged down in that. But if you got some ideas, I'm happy to hear it. The apparel, I wear that stuff every day. I like this. My HTH shirt is on barefoot. I love this stuff. It's super comfortable, and I think the community does too. But we're not going to be an apparel company. We've got too many other wins here. We see the path. We're a collectibles company. We're good at it. It's what we crush. Yeah, I got other businesses that are in the textile side, and they're doing pretty good. But I don't want to try to build out this business. I don't want this to be a distraction to me. We're going to basically morph our ability to source and get this stuff. We're gonna use it to power merch, ideally across all of our lines. So take what we know and take the connections we have, the ordering stuff, things, and use it still for our community. Still have access to some really nice stuff that you can't get elsewhere. But that piece is not going to be something that we're gonna try to invest in and be a big apparel business around the Barefoot name. We're just not gonna do it. It's a distraction at this point, and it's gonna keep us away from driving the best value we can to you all, which is doing what we do the best. The rum, Fisher is going to knock that out still. He's been obviously neck deep in wonders. I didn't even call him for this to ask him where it stands. I just didn't want to leave it off the slide. I don't know. We're going to send you some rum. If push comes to shove, I'll buy everybody a damn bottle of rum at the liquor store, right? I'm going to send you some rum if you're of legal age. If I can get it to you, we're going to get you some rum. But that's where that stands. And those of you that are watching this that have no idea what I'm talking about, just ask around and some people can tell you. All right, next up. And so if you guys are going to FUD anything here, this will probably be the one to FUD. Although I don't know. You can catch FUD from a lot of places. There may be some other stuff that get FUDed that I don't even know. But this one, we're going to add a marketplace fee to the Blokpax marketplace of 3.5%. And the reason is because the marketplace is very central to the economy and the health of everything that we're trying to build in the miles economy. And without these type of emissions to go back into the reward pool, we really are not able to extract any core value out of the marketplace itself. You know, you always have first, or excuse me, self custody wallets as an option. I believe that this is the number. I did take this to some community members, some big, some small. I'm not going to tell you who they were. I got feedback. I will tell you that this is well below the average that people thought would be okay. It was kind of a pretty general consensus that 5% was okay. And at 3.5, I think it's a really good, fair number. And I think it will, when I model it, it works really well back into our reward pool, which I'm going to cover here in just a second. And then I'll talk about this a little bit deeper, but I just want to go ahead and tell you that that's coming. Now, let's jump in and let's talk about the miles reward pool. And of course, when I say miles here, it is interchangeable. It's not like these are getting locked in and you can't get them out. It's still, these are rewards. So think back to what I said. Rewards, they are withdrawable to self-custody. Nothing's changing there. But this is the miles reward pool. All right. Are you all ready? Buckle up. The reward pool for baseball and football is 200 million BPX. 100 million per, but they're going to be combined into one pool for distribution. As it stands today, that would mean that on average, it's about 45, every 45 points you hold, if we snapshotted it today, would get you one BPX. That's subject to change. The color pops are cooked, but finished, but the base set, you could still have some movement. And there could be some things that would change that number. I don't think it would change drastically, but that's kind of where it would be today. Basketball is also going to be 100 million. So 100 for each of those sports. And then we're going to have 2 million for some of those outside things, those things that were left over that kind of had some coming for this year. That's going to be a smaller pool at 2 million, more commensurate to a smaller pool relative to the first pool. And then it's important to, again, understand that baseball and football are paid out together. So one baseball point is equal to one football point. The pool is all one in the same. All right. And then there'll be some other technical specifics of how that'll work with the trophies and all that sort of thing. We'll cover that for you here in the coming, call it week to 10 days, around the tactical of how we get all that stuff out to you. But that's the size of the pool. And from a timing perspective, you can expect those trophies. They're going to be delivered here coming up before the pre-sale. Because I told you that I would. If I'm being completely honest, I think it would probably be better to wait until later in the month and do them to correspond with the actual dripping starting, which is April 1st on that fiscal year. They'll start dripping on the first day of that fiscal year. I would think it'd be better because it would give you a little bit more to do in that kind of shoulder period up until the new sets there. But we said we'd get them out. The only way I would change that is if there's just overwhelming, everybody's like, yeah, just wait and let us have them closer so we can do a little bit more. If that was the sentiment, then we would do it. It would have to be pretty overwhelming. I'm not going to do that unless it's overwhelming, because I said I'm not going to ask you to do a pre-sale until I get you your trophy for this year. So I want to hold that up, but at the same time, I don't want to just be an idiot about things, because I do think it would probably be a little bit better. And my gut says the community would prefer it, but maybe I'm wrong. So maybe that's something maybe we could have a conversation about over the next few days. And the 2023 trophies for basketball, you can expect those to deliver late June-ish, and you can expect those emissions from the drips to start in July. Important thing about the drips, they're not on-chain drips. These are in the marketplace. They're gasless. All this stuff is gasless. Like you don't have to take things out to self-custody anymore if you don't want to. We're building it so you don't have to. It's an option. Dripping itself, there will not be an on-chain option. So even if you're like, I don't trust you guys, I want to put my trophies in my own wallet, that's fine. But when you want to pull your miles out, you'll need to put it in, get them, and then you can take it back out. You can do that. But we're not going to try to reconcile an on-chain emission with the off-chain. You're going to have to move it in and at least let it hit our custodial for at least long enough to run the transactions. I don't think there's many people out there that they're thinking that way, but that's how it would have to work. So it'll all be gasless, all inside the marketplace natively. That's how that's going to work. And again, that's how you have the pool sizes. Now, I want to talk about this because I don't want everyone to just say, holy cow, the first reward was 50. Now it's so much bigger. What's going on? I will just tell you that this is not something that has been reactive. This has been my plan all along. Okay. I knew that we would have the rewards would increase going into subsequent years. And I have some targets in mind for where I ultimately want it to be before we kind of get to a point where our miles economy runs at zero inflation. That's a goal that I'm trying to get our miles economy to. And if you think about the economy we have today, we have the economy where the utility of this token is just moving. The health of an economy, a lot of it is like, how much is the currency moving? Ours moves a ton, a ton. But if you prorate the first 6 months that we had this economy live, it's about a 400% annual turnover rate in the utility of the currency, the miles, okay, which is a lot. That's huge. So tons and tons of utility value that is happening as people use it. And then you look at where are then the things that are deflationary to it to offset the miles inflation. Well, when you think about that, we have things such as the Wonders booster boxes that you all bought with your miles. Okay. Those miles came in. What did we do with them? Did we sell them? No, we put them right back into the rewards. So that piece of this reward pool is not even getting inflated, right? So that was deflation that went in to support the rewards for this year. And that was just one thing. And if you're sitting on those today, you're starting to see how that franchise is shaping up, and you're starting to see how we position that product, and you're starting to feel, I would hope, some of the energy around what you have and what you hold, that exclusive thing that you could only get with the miles. And we're going to be doing more and more and more of that, more and more that is exclusive to the miles. So you're going to have things that are creating outbound emissions of the token, a token leaving the circle, the flywheel, going out of it. You're going to have things like the HTH boxes that I've confirmed. You've got the auctions bringing it out. You've got different special promotions. You've got the Bantams are going to have things that are going to take it out. There are going to be physicals there. There's more physicals coming. These physicals are built for recurrence. If you look at Magic the Gathering, you look at Pokemon, you look at sports cards, they are built around recurring business models. We have a business model. We are building products that other humans that have no vested interest in an NFT, a pump and dump monkey, or any of that stuff want. And we're allocating a portion of that, roughly 20-ish% is kind of my general benchmark, to things that can only be obtained with the miles. And if we do that, we are now creating an incredibly healthy economy, and one that by year 3-ish, 4-ish, we're able to run with no deflation, no inflation, net deflation or net neutral. And we're able to then give you some things that you cannot get without those miles. And then that makes people want the miles more. And it helps that flywheel continue to make our products more desirable than what their competitive products might be, right? Wonders of the First, as an example, is already galvanized by the base that has those character proofs, and you all love it. And you are the foundation in which we're building on. But you can see it. If you haven't, visit the Wonders Discord. Look at some of the stuff from the playtest. It's a real product. None of those people knew anything about NFTs. If anything, they hate NFTs. You can see that we're trying to get them away from all that and just focus them on the game, because that's what they care about. That creates a massive catalyst for everything else. If only a small percentage of those people care about the other things, creates a massive catalyst. But those people are going to have an opportunity to participate and get some miles of their own. And then they're going to be able to bring those miles in, and they're going to want more of them because they want more of those exclusive products. Same thing with Bantams. Same thing with HTH. Same thing with special promotions. We got the Pick Six bringing people in. And there's a nice reason that you want to hold more of it so that you can gain more rewards and use them for these amazing products. Folks, we have a real fucking business here. This has never been from day one some pump and dump bullshit scam. This is real. And it's got a real economy with it. And it's one that is working. It's not there yet. It still has a lot more we have to do. We have to continue to shape these products. But we're getting a lot closer. I can see the promised land out on that horizon more than I've ever been able to see it in the history of what we've been doing. But we're not there yet. We have a lot of things that we still have to get right. We have a lot of missteps we could make. But it's there. The plan is solid. I believe in it. And I believe very heavily in where we're taking it to help you understand what type of value we think that you will be able to use your miles for in 2024. We're estimating that it's going to be somewhere in the $8 to $10 million range. 8 to 10 million of an estimate of what we think you're going to need your miles for. Okay. And in 2025, I hope this is lowballed. We think it's going to go over 15. And I hope that's lowballed, frankly. But like it's so far out, it's hard to project. It's easy to project something maybe for next month, but it gets harder the further you go out. I have a good idea of everything that's coming in this fiscal year, and I have a really good idea of the type of value we're going to be able to drive. I know how the drip emissions are going to work. I know how the pick six game is going to emit. There's a little bit of a wild card on how big it scales and how fast other people come in that aren't necessarily in our ecosystem. That's a little bit of a wild card, but it's also one we can turn a dial on. That's one thing I should have told you at the beginning. That is where the game starts. It's not where the game has to stay. My goal is not to jerk it around a lot, but we may have to go from 1,000 entries to 500 for the top group. Maybe it goes to 2,000. Maybe instead of 1,000 or 2,000 for the base win, maybe it goes to 5,000. Maybe it goes down to 1,000. I don't know. We may have to turn some dials there, but we have all this stuff modeled, and we understand what a healthy economy looks like and what it can sustain. And I believe very much in this, and I have since day one. We just had to find the products. We had to get the market fit. We had to have product market fit, and we have it. And we're doing some amazing things. So got all that out of the way. I got one more thing that I want to tell you about. So let me just jump into this one. Sharks. I'm just kidding. It's not the Sharks. The Sharks are coming. The Sharks will be tied to the snap game. And I think the Sharks will also participate in the pick six game. Got to make sure all that works. I got a really good plan of attack there. I think the Sharks are going to be a lot of fun, but stay with me. If you all ran away on that and you're doing stuff, looking at marketplace or whatever, because the pools just came out and told you and you're running some math, y'all come back to me real quick here because I want to hit you with this one. HTH 2024, our cover athlete, Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, baby. He is Bo Jax. He ate the hot dog. He's the first ever athlete to become one of our home team heroes. He is Bo Jax, and he's my good friend, Bo Jackson. That's all I got. See you later.